Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be kind of doing like a battle of the foundations, or like a buy or buy. I don't really know what I'm going to call it yet, but pretty much I'm going to be using the Tarte Shape Tape foundation. This is the hydrating one, and putting it up against the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundations, because when I bought this one, I intended on doing a first impressions with it. I did film my first impressions with it, and it was awful. Like, the foundation looked horrible on my skin. It was nowhere near full coverage. And I was also trying some new powders out, so I was like, okay, maybe it's the powders. So I tried this foundation again, and it looked better, but I didn't do as many layers because I was trying to build it up to get the fullest coverage as possible the first time with it. So the second time I didn't do as many layers, and I used my normal powders as opposed to the new ones, and it looked better, but it did not wear very well throughout the day. At the end of the night, you could really just see the pores on my face, and I do have like slight oiliness to my skin. So if I'm wearing a foundation for a long period of time, I do get a little oily on my nose and right here on my forehead and my chin. But it's not a ton of oil, it's just a little bit. The rest of my skin's pretty normal. I do have breakouts pretty much on my chin all the time, and I have them on my cheeks. So it really emphasized my pores, and I've never had that in a foundation. And so I was kind of disappointed the two times that I used the Tarte foundation. And then after using this, I had picked up the Wet n Wild one. I was like, wait a second. This $5 foundation is more full coverage, longer lasting, looks better on the skin than this foundation. And this foundation is $40. $40. I'm trying not to be too harsh of a judge on it. Maybe it's something I just need to work with a little bit better with different primers, different powders. I don't know. But what really got me was the coverage of it. It was just not very great coverage. And I tried it with a sponge and a brush the first time I used it, and it just worked better with the sponge. I got better coverage with the sponge than I did the brush. So that's what we're going to do today. One half of the face we're doing Tarte Shape Tape foundation, and the other half we're doing the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. This is a very great foundation. I have mine in two shades, Rose Ivory and Buff Bisque, because I mixed these to get my perfect shade, and I think I'll be able to mix them enough to match the Tarte foundation. So yeah, this is what we're doing today. I already have my face primed with the NYX Photo Loving Primer, because I know how this works with my foundations and how this works with my skin. So I want to give the Tarte foundation a fair shot. So let's go ahead and just jump into the video. So I just wanted to quickly say that I'm not comparing these two products based on coverage or consistency or anything like that. I just wanted to point out the fact that you don't have to have the most expensive products to have the best products. That was my ultimate point I'm trying to get here. And also, I did just want to say that I love Tarte as a brand. It is so amazing. Just like with every brand, there's hits and misses, and this is just a miss for me. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say. So the Tarte foundation applies better with a sponge, so just to give it an even more fair shot, I'm going to be using my Ulta Beauty brand sponges. I have two here. This dirty one is what I'm going to be using for the Wet n Wild foundation, because this is what I've been using this past week with it. And then I have a clean one for the Tarte one, just so I don't kind of contaminate the products. I'm going to be doing the Wet n Wild on this side of my face and the Tarte on this side of my face. I'm going to be using the same amount of product on both sides of my face, which is going to be a lot for Wet n Wild side, because I use two shades, and the way I don't mix them on the back of my hand, I kind of contour and highlight with them and blend them out that way. But I think that shade's going to equal my Tarte shade. So going in with the Wet n Wild side first, I'm taking the first shade in Rose Ivory, and I'm just going to start by putting this right here, not all the way under my eyes. Okay, I don't usually use that much. And then I'm going to take it on my forehead, my chin, right here. I'm pretty much putting this where I would normally highlight with like a lighter concealer. I'm gonna kind of take some of this product off right here because that's a lot of product. But as you guys can see right now, I do have, they're not breakouts, they're all kind of healing, but they are still pretty red scars, and I do have a breakout right here. I'm just taking my 1 in Buff Bisque and placing this kind of like where a cream contour would go, and then just a couple on my chin. Okay, so here is one layer of the Wet n Wild foundation. I usually only do one layer because it is a good amount of coverage on the skin. As you can see, it covered this spot right here very well. You can still kind of see it, but it's okay. I mean, the redness kind of on my forehead is covered. My cheek is covered. So this is the Wet n Wild side one more time. I mean, like I said, I had a lot of these like red scars on the side that are covered now. I think it looks very nice on the skin. Now let's move on to the Tarte Shape Tape side. Now, like I said, I did get the hydrating one because I do not like mattifying foundations. I do not like the way they look on my skin, because even though I do get a little bit oily in this area of my face, I feel like every time I've tried to use a mattifying foundation, or even just like a mattifying powder or anything like that, it just makes my skin dry out super fast. I don't know what it is, it's just like that. So that's why I got the hydrating one. Of course, we all know what this packaging looks like. It's a nice glass packaging. It got the traditional Shape Tape lid and the doe foot applicator on it, like the traditional Shape Tape. I have mine in fair beige, and I'm just going to apply this in all the same spots. It does look a little bit lighter than what I put on this side. That's okay. I'm just going to apply this in all the same spots that I did the Wet n Wild foundation. So it's going to seem like a lot of product, but I feel like it's not going to matter. Does that look kind of like what I had on the other side? So taking my clean sponge, as you can see, this one is completely clean. No cross contaminants between the foundations. We are going to blend this out. Just keep in mind the redness that I have right here on my forehead, right above my eyebrow. Keep that in mind. Keep in mind all the red spots that I have on the side of my face. And it's not like the sponge drinks up a lot of product, I feel like. I mean, yeah, you can see product on there, but I feel like that's not a lot of product that was drink up by the sponge. Like I said, when I applied this with a brush, it just looked awful. So a sponge is definitely the way to go with this one. So this is one layer. As you can see, I didn't tap this out nearly as much as I did this side. I didn't even buff this out with a foundation brush like I did this side. And the coverage is just not there. I mean, you can still see this clearly. You can still see that the redness on my cheek you can still see, but my eyebrows, I had a blemish right there. I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit more so you guys can kind of see the difference between the Wet n Wild side, which coverage I feel like is there. It is awesome. And the Tarte side with, you can still see all of my blemishes. So I definitely feel like this is a natural foundation, which honestly, I was under the impression this was supposed to be a full coverage foundation. Kristen Leanne uploaded a video about this being similar to the Tarte, I believe it's the Hydra Gel foundation that they had. I don't think they sell it anymore, but it was the one in like a glass pot. And I did buy that. I only used that foundation once because the color I got was way too light for me, so I just passed it on to my sister, and I just never went and repurchased a new one. But what I can remember from that foundation, this feels and looks exactly like that foundation did on my skin. And that one, I felt like the coverage wasn't really there with that one either. It felt the same. It even smells the same, if I'm being completely honest. I'm going to do another layer. In my first impressions, I did build this up quite a lot and it looked horrible on the skin, but I think I did like 3 or 4 layers just to get the coverage I needed because my skin was really broken out when I filmed that video. So I'm just going to do this in spots like this instead of all over the face. And let's see if we can get just a little bit more coverage out of it. See, I feel like that it gave me just a little bit of extra coverage, but you can still see all of these spots. Just really quickly wanted to read to you guys what it says on the Tarte website about this hydrating foundation. It's a hypoallergenic luminous finish gel foundation featuring the same iconic buildable full coverage as Shape Tape concealer with an added boost of skin smoothing oil-free hydration. Where's the full coverage? It is luminous. I mean, there is more luminosity on my skin on this side than there is on the Wet n Wild side. Wet n Wild side is not a completely matte foundation. I want to say it's like a demi-matte foundation. But I mean, there is a lot more luminosity on the Shape Tape side, so I do have to give them that. It does look a little bit more like healthier skin and glowy skin. So also it says on here, provides the same rich creamy full coverage as Shape Tape concealer and a skin smoothing weightless gel. The collagen and hyaluronic acid packed formula continuously hydrates while helping to plump skin and refine pores without creasing, caking, or fading for 12 hours. Now, the last time I wore this foundation, I did wear it out. And when I got home, I only had it on for probably, I want to say like 3 or 4 hours. It looked really bad. And that was with me using my normal powders and my normal products on my skin, not trying new things. Well, I feel like as I was tapping that out, a little bit of the foundation came up right here because I can now see more of my redness. And for spot concealing on the Tarte side, I'm taking another Shape Tape, but this one is in light neutral, which might be a little dark compared to the foundation, but that should be okay. And I'm just putting this on all these extra spots right here on my cheek that I really didn't get good coverage on. And see, this just like covers so well. I don't understand what happened with the foundation. Like, look, that covered that up. Why didn't the foundation? I don't understand. And to set my whole entire face, I'm going to be using the Milani Prep Set and Go Transparent Face Powder. And I have been loving this stuff. As you can see, I've been using this non-stop. It looks good with all my foundations, and it especially looks good with the Milani foundation. This is the Tarte side. Again, I mean, it's still not completely covered the way that I would like it to be. I feel like the Wet n Wild side still has so much more coverage. As you can see, it just looks so much better, more fuller coverage. Final thoughts. Do I recommend the Tarte Shape Tape foundation as a full coverage foundation? No. As a more natural foundation? Yes. But I didn't pay $40 to have a natural looking foundation, and when I do try to build it up to full coverage, it looks horrible. I didn't pay $40 for that. I am going to keep it. I'm going to try it out more, give it the benefit of the doubt because of what it is. Maybe try it with different primers, with different powders. Just try different things with it. Because, I mean, maybe I just need to find something that works with it. On the other side, the Wet n Wild foundations, I do absolutely 100% recommend you going out and buying these. They're just so amazing. If I had to repurchase foundations, I would definitely repurchase the Wet n Wild one as opposed to the Tarte one. I don't think I'm ever going to repurchase this unless they reformulate it. I'm disappointed that this is pretty much the same formulation as a past foundation that they did have. So I mean, that kind of just, it's like they just put that in a Shape Tape bottle and called it Shape Tape, and it's not Shape Tape. I'm kind of wondering about the matte foundation because maybe it is a little bit different. Maybe that one is a little bit more full coverage. I'm thinking about buying the matte one and trying it out just to see. I'm not 100% sure if I want to do that yet. So yeah, I think I can stop rambling on about this now. I think my point has been made. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I meant no offense to Tarte or to anybody if this is your favorite foundation. Like I said, it may not work for me, but it may be your holy grail. And also, like I said, Tarte is my all-time favorite high-end brand. Just with every brand, there are hits and misses personally and just in general. So there, I mean no offense by this, I'm just putting my opinion out there. I don't think I have anything else to say except please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe to my channel before you leave. Also turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified anytime I post a video. I'm getting better about my uploading schedule and I'm starting to consistently post on Mondays and Fridays like I'm supposed to be doing. So that's normally my schedule, and normally my videos go up around 5:30, 6 or 6:30, just any that time in general is when they're going to go up. So you can also follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. I'll have all those links listed in the description box down below, and I notify you on mostly Instagram when I post videos, so definitely follow me there. I don't think I have anything else to say except I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.